This is Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor here in Austin, Texas. Thank you for stopping on my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the pros and cons about living in Pflugerville, Texas. Pflugerville is a city that's just north of Austin. It's considered technically a suburb. So we're gonna go over a bunch of stuff, good versus bad, and anything in between. So hang tight, hang with me. Let's go. Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. And if you want to learn everything about eating, working, sleeping, playing, breathing, and sleeping in the LaT&x, make sure to click that subscribe button and that notification button so you get notified every time I have a new video. I get calls and texts from folks just like you all the time, and I love it. If you're thinking of relocating anywhere in the Austin area, make sure to call me, text me, email me. You can send me an Instagram DM, like literally whatever works for you. If you are thinking about relocating to Austin, I got you. Today, we're gonna be talking about the pros and cons of living in Pflugerville. Ready? Let's go. As in many of my other videos, I typically like to start with the location of the neighborhood or the part of town that we're talking about. So I'm gonna tell you about the location of Pflugerville. Point blank, Pflugerville is located northeast of Austin. It's really hard to explain what it looks like on the map. I'm just gonna show you. There you go. It's that weird shaped blob with lots of little compartments to it. That's Pflugerville, you guys. I know on this map, actually, Pflugerville looks kind of small. In reality, it's really big. There are parts of Pflugerville that are right on the edge of Austin, and you can get to the middle of Austin in 12 minutes. And other parts, like way northeast Pflugerville, that are literally 35 minutes from Austin, depending where you want to go. So it's a huge city, and there's a ton of variety. One of the first cons, I will say, is very blatantly the name. People don't know how to pronounce Pflugerville. I hear all sorts of pronunciations for it, and honestly, it's really annoying. It's pronounced Pflugerville. The P is quiet. It's not Pflugerville, Pflugerville, like it's Pflugerville. I think it's German. It might be Scandinavian. I'm not really sure. It's kind of a random name considering so many things in Texas have kind of Hispanic names. One thing I would say that is definitely a pro in Pflugerville is that the city has been growing by leaps and bounds over the last 5 years because there has been so much growth in Austin proper. People still want to be close to Austin and still want to be close to all the wonderful things that Austin has to offer. However, you can still get a much more affordable home in Pflugerville. Really depending on the size, it always depends, like on the size, condition, age, and so on. Generally speaking, you can get a decent home there for about $300 to $350, and that's probably something that's going to be on like the higher end, like luxury, have more of a luxury feel to it. On that note, I mentioned that there has been a ton of growth in Pflugerville. That includes residential as well as commercial and things to do. Kind of a negative, I would say, even though there are a lot of things going on there are a lot of big box stores and restaurants. So you don't really see as many cute little quirky ma and pa shops. There are a couple, but generally it's the bigger box stuff like Target and Panda Express and Chili's and Home Depot. So I mean, it's fine. The things that are available in Pflugerville are actually super practical and they allow you to live a pretty normal, consistent life, but it's nothing super crazy where you're gonna see some like crazy imported restaurant from the other side of the world for the most part, but there are a couple. So yeah. Another pro of Pflugerville is that homes that are in northeast Pflugerville, so northeast I refer like east of Highway 130, which is one of our toll roads. It goes north and south. The schools in those areas tend to have higher ratings overall. So if you want a really nice house and you want a community that's very, very neighborhoody, very comfortable, very chill with a lot of amenities like a pool and walking trails and parks and highly rated schools for a really good price, that northeast Pflugerville pocket is fantastic for that. The con that comes with living in those areas is that you're going to be pretty far from anything that's going to be really necessary. For instance, if you have kids and you need to be near Walgreens, or somebody gets sick in the middle of the night and needs medicine, or what have you, it's probably going to be like a 12 to 15 minute drive to go to a drugstore or to get something you need very instantly. Another pro about Pflugerville is Pflugerville Lake. It's a little lake. It's not actually so little. It's located just east of 130 and like literally right on East Pflugerville Parkway. It's a lake that's 3 miles around, and they've got a walking trail around it. At any given time, you can see people running, walking. Every now and then you see somebody biking around it. It's not really good for biking though, because it's got like a gravel sidewalk, but there's also a playscape, like a really nice playscape over there. You see people kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, and I know sometimes I've seen folks even fishing over there, and I feel like it's busy pretty much always, whether you're somebody that likes to go on early morning runs or afternoon walks, or even like an evening stroll. There's literally always people there, and it's got such a nice, clean, calm, peaceful vibe to it. Very kumbaya, very welcoming. Highly recommend it. I love Pflugerville Lake. Also, during more normal times, there's a lot of fitness events that happen in Pflugerville Lake. There's like triathlons, races, and just a lot of community activities in general. It's a really good area for people to gather and do things outdoors. So now I have kind of a pro and a con together. So if you're looking at homes in like Southwest Pflugerville, just outside of Austin, the tax rate in that area for homes is going to be close to like 2.3 to about 2.5%, which is actually pretty standard for the Austin area. So that's not too crazy. When it gets crazy though is when you go like northeast Pflugerville, east of Highway 130, those newer homes have a super high tax rate. It's usually about 3 to like 3.1%, which is really high. So if you have a home that you bought for like $350, your property taxes on it are gonna be about $12,000 a year, compared to a home that might be in Austin proper, or like the southwest part of Pflugerville, that a tax rate's gonna be closer to like 2.5. That home that costs $350, the taxes for that are gonna be closer to like $8,000 or $9,000. So I think that's a pretty significant chunk. And the reason for that is because the further out you go in Pflugerville, of course, the higher the property taxes are, because they are bringing out the infrastructure and the utilities and all that, and they're getting that area established. So I've heard that that tax rate is slowly supposed to drop, but number one, I don't know when, and I don't know to how low. So know that. However, you can get a really big, beautiful home out there for a lot less than you can in Austin proper. So, you're weighing the differences. Another pretty cool thing about the city of Pflugerville is that if you're looking for a home, there is a lot of variety. There are a couple neighborhoods that are more established, kind of more stately-like, that were built like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, with big yards and like older trees, and just more character overall. And then you've got master plan communities that are very cookie cutter with pretty attentive HOAs and people that really like to keep the neighborhood looking uniformed, which is great. It depends what you like, but there is really a huge range. I also see home prices range quite a bit over there. I've seen homes, in the low 200s up until about like the mid 500s. So there literally is something for everybody. I'm gonna share with you my experience with Pflugerville. I remember when I first started in real estate about 8 years ago, I was looking at homes there, and you could buy like a 3,000 square foot home for like $140,000. Isn't that nuts? It's nuts. There was also absolutely nothing to do over there. So, I mean, yeah, like you could get a huge house, but not really a lot going on. About 4.5 years ago, I lived in downtown Austin, and this was before I owned any property. And I always thought Pflugerville was super dumb. I was like, I'll never live there, boo, whatever. And then I found a house that was really wonderful, and that was where I bought my first home. And that eventually turned into an investment property. I will say this, Pflugerville is very comfortable, and where this particular home is located, I was able to get pretty much anything very quickly. Considering the price of the home and the fact that the home was brand new, it was very much worth my while, number one, as a first-time home buyer and as a new investor, to start in somewhere like Pflugerville. Now, I have that home rented out, and in 4 years, I haven't had a vacancy. There's a lot of demand in that area, and it's still growing. So that property is still appreciating, and it's actually been a really wonderful asset to have in my portfolio. One other pro about Pflugerville, which I think is absolutely wonderful and beautiful, is that it is a total melting pot. You see people from all walks of life, people of all different shapes, sizes, and colors from all over the world. A lot of the neighborhoods in Pflugerville, because of this, are pretty united. I feel like the folks that I know that live in Pflugerville know their neighbors pretty well, and they are pretty active in their communities.